Hey, what's up guys? It's Jay. Hope you guys are doing well. I got the AYN Odin 2 portal in finally. Took a while, ordered it back last year, finally got it in. And so we're gonna do a first impressions, review, unboxing, all that stuff. So if you guys aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really does help the channel grow and more products to review, all that stuff. Tech stuff, everyday stuff. That's kind of what I do. And yeah, so if you're not familiar with the Odin 2 portal, what is it? It is a gaming handheld, and it's focused on retro gaming. And however, it is an Android-based device. So what does that mean? That means you can use it for normal stuff, like a phone almost. And what can you do with a normal phone? You can stream your games, Xbox Game Pass, PS5 Remote Play, and Steam. So you can do all those remote streaming devices. And so the portal kind of fits into that category as well. You're able to sort of play retro games, Switch, PS2, GameCube, Wii, all those games. Plus, you have the ability to play streaming games. And previous models with the Odin 2 Pro that I have here, I have the Odin 2 Pro here, and I've been using it for a while, for almost a year now at this point, I think. And so this device, I don't know, it's pretty good, but I think that the 6-inch display, it's a little bit small for streaming. It works, it does work. Don't get me wrong, it does work. I think that, the grips, everything is all very good. Like the grips are very thick and everything. I prefer these grips over like thinner grips, but it just depends on your hand size. If you have medium to bigger hands, you're gonna like these bigger ones. If you have smaller hands, you like the smaller grips. But I did like that, this is kind of like the perfect device of 2024 in my opinion. There were some other devices that I thought were better, just slightly, because, for example, this Retro Pocket 5, right? This one has a OLED display. The Odin 2 didn't have an OLED display. It just had a LCD display, but they're both 1080p, both 60 Hertz, so nothing crazy there, right? But the Retro Pocket 5, I really love this display. It's just the OLED. If you use any modern phone, you're gonna realize that this display is just way better than any LCD display, in my opinion. And so that's what the Odin 2 portal kind of comes in. It is a device that the Odin 2 portal, it's kind of an upgrade in almost every way. It's a 7-inch display, 1080p OLED, and without getting too much into it, let's just unbox the device while we're talking about the spec stuff. So, switch here. So you can see I did get the base model. It is the 8 gig under 28 storage. And however, this model only comes in black, so it is what it is. I did wish that they had more options for colors. You see, it is sealed, which is nice. It's like very nice packaging. I think the previous models, I don't think it came sealed like this. So it's a little nice that it comes in sealed here. So as I saw some of the pictures online, though, I was wondering if, I was really wondering if the grips were going to be good, because it looks like they're thinner than previous iterations, but in particular the Odin 2 Pro here. So, I'm a little curious. So let's find out. So the boxing it's pretty nice already. I like that they have the plastic to kind of seal the box out and everything. So with that, let's open it up. So it opens up like a drawer, actually, quite nice. And I do like the box, kind of has the shimmering AYN 2 portal stuff. Same with the paper here, which if you're familiar with their unboxing experience, is kind of the same. So this does have more of that information. You guys want to check it out, you guys can check it out here, like so. So Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, 4nm processor, all that stuff. It has 8,000 milliamp battery. I believe originally it was going to have a smaller battery, but they've opted to put a 8,000 watt hour one. So yeah, 430 grams. So we'll see how heavy it feels. Definitely it's going to be heavier than the Odin 2 Pro or the Odin 2 in general. Here are all the buttons and stuff. We'll go over that in a little bit later, but yeah. Just in general though, so far there are some issues. that I already had with the experience, just like ordering and everything like that. So, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. So continuing with the unboxing experience, quality seal of approval that passed QA there. So there you have it. Nice protection for the device. And you have the device itself, which I really do like the packaging. It has this like, it's kind of cheap-ish felt kind of material. Same with this, but you know, I do like that they changed it up a little bit, kind of give a more premium looking experience there. But to me, it doesn't really have to have that. I don't know why this plastic thing is here. I guess to protect the cables or something, but yeah, you do get cables here. They're pretty generic, I think. No, these are actually pretty nice looking. They're AYN branded cables there, so quite nice, I would say. So definitely, actually, I will probably use these. So I'm gonna put these off the side here. The cable length, I think, is like only 3 feet. It's not very long. So, but I do like that it feels pretty premium. And I think that's about it. There's probably nothing else. So yeah, there's nothing else underneath. That's literally it. So I did want to mention one thing, that they do come with alternative buttons, you see here, and they also come with the sticks that are actually bigger and longer. So the original sticks that come with the Odin 2 currently don't have, they have like these kind of sticks, the same ones that they've used before. So these are a little bit small, I feel like. On this device, I feel like it's fine because it's a smaller device, but on the Portal 2, it's a little bit bigger, or it's a 7-inch display, so quite a bit bigger, I would say. And just first impressions though, right now, quite nice. Like it feels premium already as I've just unboxed it right now. And so, you know, so far, pretty hefty. Like it's not heavy feeling, but it like has a nice hand feel so far. I would say that the black plastic so far kind of smooth, so not too rough. So a little bit on the smoother side with the plastic. It is matte, as you can see there. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over kind of the device itself, front part. So starting from the left side, you got your joystick here. A little bit high, feels. Joystick right here. It feels a little high, a little small actually, because it is the same one as the Odin 2 Pro that I have here. So, and you know, later on in the video, I'll compare the two a little bit later. So yeah, so you got your select button right there. You got your D-pad, pretty much the same as the D-pad that's used in the Odin 2. Yeah, feels about the same. You got your home button, speaker right there. And that's about it. You got your right side, you got your start button, your ABXY. So this is set up in the Xbox format. I really do like the buttons. They feel really good. Nice good connection there. It's a memory connection, but feels good. You do have the other joystick here, placed in a good position, I would say. And then you have your back button and speakers as well. That's about it. And you know, I like the black model just because it kind of has the same kind of effect as the Retro Pocket 5 that I have here as well. You can see that it kind of blends in the display, so it kind of has this immersive effect to it versus the Odin 2 Pro that, you know, has a bezel basically. They basically just hide the bezel underneath the kind of the glass panel here, so you don't really see it. So technically all displays that do have some sort of bezel that comes with it. Let's go to the bottom real quick. So you got your SD card there. Pretty easy to get to, in my opinion. I do like it on the bottom. And I'm not sure if I like this kind of ejection method. You see that it has this like plastic piece that comes outward and you kind of pull it out, and it is plastic. So I don't know how like durable this is going to be over time, but I doubt you guys are going to be swapping out SD cards that often. But you can definitely tell like these pieces are quite small. So I don't know how to feel about that, but it might be okay. But it is easy to get to. And yeah, it feels like a little bit of a downgrade from the previous model. For example, I'll show you guys real quickly here. So previous model, Odin 2 Pro, it feels a lot more solid here. You see right here, it does, like you see, it is only one connection piece right here, but this piece feels a lot more solid. However, it is one piece, but it's just thicker. So I don't know. What do you guys think? You think it's a big deal or not? But in general, it just feels more solid here. Even the these connection points to lock in the this door here feels a little more thicker. It looks a little thicker. It feels thicker too. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. So you notice that this device did have a display out connector here. The Odin 2 does not, or the Portal does not here. It just has the headphone jack and the USB out. So it does have display out here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken there. Now, more interesting parts from the changes that they did from the Odin 2 Pro. The button's a little bit thinner. Well, actually quite thinner, actually. Maybe this is a better idea, give you guys a better idea of how different they are. I would say this is probably a downgrade in my opinion. The Odin 2 Pro definitely had like more rounded, wider buttons to kind of get access to. It's easier. And then the power button was also doubled as a fingerprint sensor. So it's kind of a downgrade in that sense as well. So, you know, it is what it is. And I would say that this top part of the Odin 2 Portal is more flat than the Odin 2 Pro here. So yeah. But what is different, you can see it right away, is those triggers. Quite different. The Odin 2 Pro, you know, very simple circle, kind of oval shape. There's no texture there. However, you do see that it's kind of embossed in, kind of keeps your button, it keeps your finger kind of within that range here. So it is quite nice. I do like that this design kind of had this kind of ridge there. Keeps your finger kind of in place. Same with the R1, kind of similar in that aspect, but there's no like texture at all. So it kind of is slippery in that sense, but not that, you know, things are just, you're not going to slip out, right? Like, you know, it's more of a, it's nice to have, I think. It's just nice to have that texture there. So, which they did address in the Odin 2 Portal here. You see that it does have kind of nice, very nice texture actually. It's not like too rough, but it's good enough to like, okay, this feels good now, you know? You can see that they did widen up quite a bit. Again, you know, just side by side, you can tell it's just wider. The R1, R2, just wider, more of a wedge shape for the R2 triggers, R2 and L2 triggers. Wow, quite wide. Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that's a downgrade in that aspect or not? I'm not sure, but I think generally so far, pretty good. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and power this thing on. And I'll talk, oh, it's already powered on. Wow, interesting. I didn't even power this device on, it's already powered on. But, you know, let's go and set this up real quick. Pretty easy, go through. Let's get this for now. Let's go with we can go with the Odin launcher or the ASOP launcher. I'm just gonna go with the ASOP launcher, gesture navigation. Let's start. All right, really easy to get to. Wow, that display though. Wow, and it gets really dim, but I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera there, but there's a little bit of a green. So I don't know if you guys can see there, but there's a little bit of a green tint there. It's quite obvious actually at the lowest settings, but I think that's kind of common for OLED devices, especially if you're trying to push the luminosity like pretty low. But you know, other than that, wow, I do like that it gets super bright as well. The display might be, the camera might be blowing out, but there we go. I turned on 120 hertz. Might not be able to tell on the video here, but pretty smooth. Wow. So yeah, but so far, you know, pretty impressed with the device. Definitely heavier than the, it's definitely heavier than the Odin 2 Pro, but you know, overall pretty good. I will say that so far, I'm not liking the texture on the Odin 2 Portal as much as I liked it on the Odin 2 Pro here. The texture here, it's smooth, right, with this gray model here, but I don't know if it's because this is black or not, but this feels a little bit more grippy, if that makes any sense. Like technically neither has any texture, but I don't know if it's because of the plastic or the coloring or whatever, the injection mold for the coloring, but this feels a little bit more grippy. And also the grip itself, ergonomics, you can tell it's like, man, it is quite a bit different. So the ergonomics itself, you can tell it's quite a bit different, man. Like, look how thicker the highest point of the Odin 2 versus the Portal goes. It's quite a massive difference, in my opinion. But yeah, what do you guys think? So people that like, you know, smaller grips or have, you know, average to smaller hands, they might prefer the Odin 2 Portal. For me, I think I prefer the Odin 2 a little bit more, just because the grip feels like it's not going to slip out of my hands. But I'll have to, you know, play with the device a little bit more to kind of get a better feel for it. Because right now, it kind of feels like the Retro Pocket 5, where you can see it has a similar kind of bump, where when I hold it, right, it like there's nothing here, this part of my hand, to kind of like hold on to, if that makes sense. I'm kind of relying on holding with my trigger fingers here, right, to kind of like hold the device, if you will, and holding this kind of position with the, you know, my thumbs on one of the control positions there. But, you know, it does feel ergonomically good, right? The curved display on the glass, quite nice. So, you know, that's one of the things that I had issues with the curved display. You know, there's going to be a lot of a little bit more failure rates and stuff like that. So, you know, I'll talk about that later, but right now, you know, pretty good. So let's go over the software. Very similar to the other devices, the Odin 2, the Retro Pocket 5. You can turn on joystick LEDs. You can change the LED joystick colors. There we go. So you can do both colors. You can change the brightness. There we go. You can change the saturation. I think. Doesn't seem like. There we go. It's kind of a little bit finicky with the software, but see, I can't really drag or anything. It's kind of very touch targets, like kind of low sensitivity there. But yeah, you can change the color, whatever you want, blue, purple, green, whatever. Cool. So we'll leave it like that for now, but yeah, it's running Android 13, so not super new, but not super old. It's quite good in that aspect. And you do have these buttons on the back with a giant ventilation here for, you know, the heat exchange there. So I wish that's kind of the hardware impressions overview of it. So I'm gonna set up the device and then I'm gonna give you guys some gameplay performance real quick. I wanna show you guys a couple of games. and streaming. That's really the two important things I think that this device brings versus something like the Retro Pocket 5, where it's not as big. The screen's a 5.5 inch OLED, but it's a little bit small, right? Even with the Odin 2 Pro that I have here, it's a 6-inch display, but it has a bezel. And so it doesn't, it's okay looking, right? It's still modern looking and everything. The grips are good and whatnot, but it's a little bit small, right? Especially when compared to the Portal that we have here. It is quite a bit bigger. And so, yeah, without further ado, it can be pretty reflective because of the glass. So it runs pretty well. You see it is like 25 frames a second. I don't know how I died there. Oh. He's gone. So just wanted to point out the vibration motor is pretty good on this device, on the AYM. Both of these actually are pretty good in my opinion. I think just the fact that the device is a little bit bigger, right? The grips are bigger, so there's like more surface area for the vibration to kind of be felt. So yeah, just wanted to point that out there. So also, you guys notice I'm playing a Switch game right now, and the button layout is on the Xbox layout, so everything's kind of reversed here. And so it's just something to be aware of if you're gonna pick up this device. You kind of have to like remap your memory, or you can just use the built-in tool here. You can switch to Odin, and now we'll switch to a Xbox layout. So now the button mapping is flipped, but obviously the lettering is not, right? So, but if you're used to playing, a Switch game, you can kind of just remember how to play and just ignore, the lettering on the button. But we're gonna switch it back to Xbox layout. And you see, runs pretty well. It was a little bit laggy at first, like you saw stutters, but this is because I think it's, you know, it has to build up the cache. Just one thing to note, you notice that I just finished playing Xenoblade. I just exited out of the game there. You notice that ESDE does kind of have to reload, and I think it has to just do with that, you know, this model this model that I got is the 128 8 gig version of RAM. So it doesn't have that much RAM. And so I think possibly what's going on is that there's not enough memory and Android's just killing the app, even though, you know, it's set as a home launcher. So, you know, just something to be aware of. If you get the Pro model, which I have for the Odin 2, when I play a Switch game and I close the game or I finish the game, it doesn't really do that as often. So it's one of those things, having more RAM is good, just because if you want to, you know, have a more seamless experience, if you will. But I think something that I wanted to point out for you guys. You guys are interested. So I don't know why, but it keeps going back to Odin. You know, I set it to, you know, Xbox. It's a little strange there. All right, so we're gonna launch up Artemis, which is a fork of Moonlight. And so I'm gonna use this app to basically stream from my PC. And right now it's connected to my Bazite machine here. And I'm gonna go ahead and enable this. So I'm gonna wake from LAN. We're gonna turn on. It's really simple once you set it up. You only have to do it once on any machine that you wanna configure. It works the same pretty much if you do it on your phone. So there's nothing new there. So we're gonna connect up. All right, we're connected. So you see this is my Steam machine, if you will. So this is connected to my TV actually. And I kind of wanted to set them, so I kind of wanted a system where it was like similar to PS Play, where I have a PS5 and I just remote in and it's just seamless. So this is kind of like that equivalent, but for the PC side. It takes a bit more work, of course. You have to configure everything, you have to, you know, build your own PC, all of that stuff. You guys want to see a video about that, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, we're gonna go here. So right now it doesn't work properly with SteamOS or the Bazite. The HDR doesn't actually properly send the information correctly, so I have to turn off the HDR anytime I want to play. So yeah, you can tell, loads up properly. It's just basically streaming the game from my PC. So we'll do a little heat check, just, you know, generally speaking. So a lot of the heat's actually coming from this side of the device, similar to the Odin 2. So nothing different there, but you don't really feel the heat here where the grips are. It's really just at this point in this section here. So just something FYI to be aware of. All right, let's start a game. So I've been really excited for Monster Hunter Worlds. You guys are playing. Let me know down in the comments. Any tips? I'm kind of new to Monster Hunter. I played World for a little bit, but not, I wouldn't say, you know, I'm a pro at any level. So let's go ahead and go on a hunt. So I do have a fairly beefy PC, which is why things are running fairly smooth here. That's a 40, sorry, it's a, nope, didn't mean to do that. I have a 7900 GRE graphics card, and I don't remember the CPU, but it is a Ryzen 5. I think it's like 7600X, so it's, you know, fairly good. So let's just beat up on these guys real quick. So yeah, the game streaming, I am streaming from my Wi-Fi. I do have a fairly good Wi-Fi connection here at home, so yeah, you see, pretty good. All right, so let's open the map. Oh, okay. So as you see, things work pretty well. You don't see any artifacting from the streaming. Again, you do have to have a good Wi-Fi connection for this to really work. And I've tried this also kind of remotely outside of my home. It does work fairly well. Again, it's just really dependent on the Wi-Fi connection that you're using. But you see, no drops. Everything's really smooth. I don't have an FPS counter right now, but you guys can tell that there is not any kind of drops. It's running about 60 frames from my PC, but yeah, running pretty smooth. Okay, so that was some gameplay of, the Portal. And so what do you guys think of this device? Like, I mean, I thought it ran pretty well. I mean, it's kind of what I expected, right? With an 8 Gen 2 device. It is a lower end model than my Odin 2 Pro that I have here. But, in terms, it's just like the storage and stuff like that, that's really the difference there. But in terms of performance, I didn't really notice the difference between the two devices at the moment. So, performance-wise, things are good. For me, it's more about the ergonomics, how does everything feel, especially given that things are a little bit different from the two devices here, like as far as the design, layouts, stuff like that. It's a little bit thinner, of course. Like at its thickest point, you can tell that the Odin 2 is a little bit thicker than the Portal. Like I'm not gonna go out and measure it, but you guys can just tell it's obviously a little bit thinner there. So it affects ergonomics. That's kind of the biggest thing between these two devices. If we're in the market for looking, trying to get a premium device, this is what I would categorize these are, because these are, $300 or so devices now. And something like the Retro Pocket 5, it's a little bit cheaper. It's like $200, $220 for the 5 here. So it's a little bit cheaper, right? So it just depends on, what you're looking for, what kind of performance, all that stuff. So I have a little bit more impression, so I wanted to go over that. And previously I talked about, so let's go over that now. So you notice that I did take off the stick on the right side of the Odin 2 Pro here. I wanted to do that for the Portal. You notice that did use the bigger stick that comes with the Odin 2 Portal. So now if you order this from their website, they're going to just include this one as the default, if I'm not mistaken, rather than the previous model, which was using these smaller ones that kind of like all these three models actually use the same one currently. So one of the things I wanted to point out is the design layout of these sticks are a little bit different. So I'll show you why now. So you see that the Odin 2 has this kind of like divot. Probably easy to show on the camera here. You see it's kind of concave in, right? You see a divot here. You have your stick here. And so what that does is that it actually lowers the kind of the stick protrusion, so it doesn't stick out as much, right? The height is not as exaggerated. Now you can also tell that the stick itself is quite short, like relatively speaking, of course. Now you have the Portal 2. This one is a little bit different because of the glass panel, right? It's flat, right? And it is curved as well. Hopefully you could tell here that the actual stick is kind of like slanted off axis, if you will, but it's actually just, perpendicular to the device. It's just that because the glass is curved here, it kind of has to do that. So yeah, you see, you get a better idea there. And because of that, you don't really have a divot that kind of like pushes the stick downward. And so because of that, the stick is actually quite high here, kind of the root of the base of the stick here. So it's not like drastic in terms of like, how it looks, but it definitely does affect how much it protrudes out. So for example here, I have, the left side stick on for both. Hopefully you could tell that it's quite a bit higher, like it is. Look at that. You check out on the Portal 2 right here, it's quite high versus the Odin 2, you can barely see it come out. So, that's kind of the trade-off, right? So if you plan to buy this and you're not planning to buy like aftermarket grip sticks here, this is kind of just something to be aware of. With the Portal 2, it's going to come with these ones, and these are bigger and taller and all that stuff. So there are trade-offs, right? So smaller ones, they're smaller, not as grippy, etc., all that stuff. The bigger one, more grippy. I definitely prefer this, just functionally speaking. But it is bigger, it's taller, and it just looks a little weird. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I do think aesthetics is kind of important, not the grand all be all, but it is a little important there. So yeah, so that's something to be aware of. That, yeah, so that is something to be cognizant of, that the sticks are a little bit different here. You can get other aftermarket sticks, but I wouldn't say that they're going to be any different from the two that we have here. So I played a little bit of Xenoblade and Monster Hunter Wilds, as well as the Yakuza game here. And so what do you guys think? Do you think this is worth picking up? Let me know down in the comments below. So this is my first impression of the Odin 2 Portal. I think it's a great device so far. There are some things about the ergonomics and stuff I still need to kind of work out. Right now it feels a little weird in certain positions, and so I'll go into more detail in the full review, but for now, so far so good. The device works well, everything what I expected in terms of performance, coming from an Odin 2 Pro here. So, that's not surprising there, right? What is surprising is that the screen, the OLED, 7-inch, so huge, all that stuff. So, I'm really excited to just keep playing with the device and really streaming, because I have a, BVPC. I can just stream any games I want, and I don't have to worry about it. And I have more storage all there. And, if I want to play offline, I can do that. If I don't have an internet connection, I can just play on the, Portal 2 with my retro devices, or retro games, actually, I should say. All right, so that's been it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll have a full review out of this device in about a week or so. And then, yeah. But with that, I will see you guys later. Peace.